Raise your hand if you've ever looked at your bank account and wondered, where did my money go? Or you're crushing it creatively, but when it comes to your finances, it's like a scene from a horror movie confusing, scary, and messy. Well, guess what? You're not alone. And today I'm here to help you take control. Let's turn those financial nightmares into peace of mind with 5 key numbers that every creative entrepreneur needs to know. Hi, I'm Samantha Eck, your go to gal for all things bookkeeping with creatives. I help entrepreneurs like you feel confident about their money so they can focus on what they do best, creating amazing work. If you're ready to ditch the overwhelm and finally feel in control of your business finances, stick with me because this video is for you. Today, we're diving into 5 simple but powerful numbers that can change the way you think about your money. These aren't just finance things, they're tools that will help you run a thriving, successful business. So grab that coffee and a notebook, settle in, and let's do this. Before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe if you're ready to take charge of your finances. You deserve to feel confident about your money. The first number is the most obvious, which is your revenue. This is the total amount of money that your business makes before any expenses. Think of it as your financial baseline. If you've been on social media long enough, you've seen tons of those posts claiming that they've made 6 or 7 figures. That's usually the revenue number. But why is it so important to know your revenue? Let's say that you earned $5,000 last month. Think of your business historically. Was that a good month or was it a slower one? Did it come from one big client or a mix of smaller clients and projects? Tracking your revenue doesn't just help you know that you're making money, it helps you see trends, set realistic goals, and plan ahead for the future. I knew a photographer who realized she was relying too much on seasonal weddings for her income. By keeping track of her revenue, we noticed that her off seasons were dragging her down. She decided that adding mini sessions during her slow periods would help smooth out her revenue. And of course, it did. So don't just look at the revenue number, think about what it's trying to tell you. The second number that we want to think of is our expense percentage. Not just the amount that we're spending on expenses, but the actual percentage. This is how much of your revenue you're spending on those business expenses. To calculate it, divide your expenses by your revenue and multiply by 100. So let's say you're making $10,000 a month and 8,000 of that goes towards expenses. That means that your expense percentage is 80%, which might sound like a lot, which is why categorizing your expenses is so important. It helps you identify if you're overspending on tools, software, travel, or even those fancy coffee dates. And while looking at a number is great, seeing that you actually spent 25% of your revenue on coffee dates might make you second guess if that was worth it. Recently, after completing one of my clients' year ends, we realized that they were spending over 15% on gas alone. They weren't even in an industry where 15% made sense. So we thought of 2 solutions. Either they get a gas card so that they can save some money, or they cut back on those trips so that they're not spending so much on gas. Seeing that number as a whole helped them to understand the overall impact that that expense percentage had on their business. Again, while it's key to have an overall expense percentage, it's very important that you look at the percentages of each expense category. That's how you can audit your expenses and see where you might need to cut back. So here's a question for you. What's one expense you have right now that you should probably cut? Let me know in the comments and let's see if we have some similarities. The next number that we want to talk about is our income percentage, otherwise known as our profit margin. This is the percentage of revenue you actually keep after all of your expenses have been taken out. To calculate it, subtract your expenses by your revenue, divide by your revenue, and then multiply by 100. So if you're making $10,000 in revenue and your expenses are $7,000, your profit margin is 30%. Your profit margin tells you so much about your business. To if your services and products are priced appropriately, to if you're paying yourself enough as a business owner. If your goal is to have 30% profit so that you can take 15% home, but you're only retaining 10% and that's your profit margin, you now know 2 things. Either one, you need to make more revenue so that you can make up that difference, or two, you need to cut back on expenses. The fourth number is your paycheck as a business owner. Are you paying yourself regularly? Be honest. So many creatives I know get stuck in the trap of reinvesting everything in their business that they completely forget to pay themselves. There is no set number or percentage when it comes to paying yourself. You need to analyze that on your personal side and understand how much money you need to bring in from your business to support your family, your lifestyle, or whatever it is that's driving your business. And this isn't about saying that I'm doing this for the money. This is how much money you need to survive as a business owner. Paying yourself is a non-negotiable. You might think that you can just push it to the side or leave it alone, but it's really something that you need to consider when you're looking at 5 numbers you want to grow. Because when you look at how much you want to pay yourself, you can understand how much you need to price your products or your services so that you can ensure that you're also having enough money to give yourself a paycheck on top of those expenses that you may need to have in your business. The fifth and final number we want to talk about is our taxes. And I know that no one wants to talk about this, but it's so important. Usually, I advise my clients to set aside at least 25 to 35% in an account so that they can pay their taxes. And then don't touch it for the entire year or use it to pay your quarterly estimated taxes if that's what you're going to owe. It's very important because even if you overpay and you get a refund, at least you're not going to get penalized and you won't owe a $20,000 tax bill come every April. I recently had a client who never set aside money for taxes. When tax season came around and she got her taxes all done, she ended up owing over $8,000 on her tax bill. She panicked and had to do a payment plan over the next year. So what we did was worked on a tax savings plan so that she could put aside money every month so that come next tax season, she was able to pay her bill with no issues and she didn't even bat an eye. Taxes don't have to be scary if you plan ahead. It's better to have a plan now than be unprepared and worried when you get that big tax bill. Okay, so we've covered revenue, expense percentages, your net income, you're paying yourself, and your taxes. These 5 numbers are your financial foundation for any business and so important to know so that you can build and grow your business. Start tracking them today so that you can feel more in control, less stress, and start to understand your money better. If you're ready to dive deeper into some of these numbers, click on the link in the description box below to get your strategic financial success mini workshop. We dive into these numbers together and analyze the hows and whys so that you can start to develop a deeper relationship with your business finances and understand them on a more intimate level. And of course, if you want one-on-one help, feel free to book a call with me so that we can discuss your business's finance needs. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Remember, running your business isn't just about your numbers. It's about building a life and a business that you love. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who you think might need it. See you next time.